Hi guys, you're welcome to the tailor's hub. Alright, so in this video I'll be showing you how to make this baby girl style. Okay, so we'll be using a doll face satin and Ankara as against this different colors of satin. Okay, please, I encourage you to watch till the end. I want to specially appreciate all our existing subscribers. And if this is your first time, please subscribe and turn on your notifications so you know when a new video is uploaded. Thank you. Alright guys, you're welcome back. So the first thing to do, meanwhile, these are the materials we'll be using for the style. I'm going to use this Ankara fabric as the bottom part and also some part of the upper bodice of the dress and the bow by the side. And this is a doll face satin. As you can see, I've already folded because we're going to be cutting the upper bodice first. So I've already folded it into 4. This is it with the zip allowance like this. All right, this style is particularly very good. One of the styles that beginners should be doing, children's outfits, so that before your hand is strong enough to try other complex styles. All right, so we have folded it into 4. Now we're going to be cutting. So we're going to be cutting a basic block, a basic bodice for a, a little girl. So our half length is 10 inches. All right. So this is 10 inches. 11. We're going to make it 11 because of the allowance. All right. So here is it. I'm going to go ahead and measure the back measurement, which is 10. I add half inch, that's for the allowance. Then I'll come down, measure the armhole length for the girl, which is 5.5 inches. All right, 5.5 inches. Under the armhole, I go ahead and measure the bust. The bust is 24 inches. If you divide 24 inches into 4 that I have folded the material, you have 6 inches. I go ahead and add the sewing allowance. I added 1.5 inches. And I come down here. The waistline for the girl is 21. If you divide 21 into 4, you have 5 1/4, as you can see. All right. So also add allowance, which is 1 inch for the dart allowance, 1.5 inch for the sewing allowance, and I connect it. This is it. Then we'll go ahead and measure the neckline. Neckline width, the width, I'll make it 2 inches so that by the time I sew, it falls back to 2.5 inches. If you spread it, that gives you 5 inches. On that point, I remove 1 inch here so that we can slant the shoulder. Okay, then come down here by, depending on how deep the depth here is 2.5 inches. Let me put down the office pen. Then you have your round neckline. Then come and your armhole, go in here by here, go in here down the armpits by a half inch. Okay, so that's just that. That's the first thing we're going to do. Then go ahead and cut it. Sorry, I want to make sure this place is equal. That's why I'm cutting it out. Ensure not to cut the back with the front. I want to make the back neckline to be a little higher than the front. Then spread it. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is to cut the Ankara. All right, So I go ahead and cut. Look at it. I've take out the zip allowance for the back. Here is it, because it's just the front I want to cut the Ankara for. Okay. All right. So that's that. You go ahead and cut out. You can remove the back completely. Either way. Okay, that's about that. So now, what you do now is to spread it. Spread it. Okay, so now after I've spread it, I'll go ahead and, you know, trace out where that cape is going to sit on. Where the cape is going to sit on from the armhole here, all right? Go down by 1 inch. This is not a one size fits all measurement. You can decide to make your own very, very low, okay? Provided you are copying the style, you can, but as it's in the style, I like it. So I go down here by 1 inch. Then also the distance between the neckline and here, I also go by 1.5 inches. Then connect the line together. Look at it. Then we cut out this part. We cut out this part. Okay, that's it. Placed on it. So now, what we do now is to go ahead and, you know, cut the flare. All right. Before I'll do that, I like to measure here. Okay. This is 13.5 inches. Then the flare also goes into one side of the back because of the zip line. Let me show you what I mean. This is it. This is how it's going to be joined. This is how it's going to be joined. All right. So the flag, the cape is a cape. It goes all the way this way. Then it ends here. That's how I want to do it. It goes all the way here and it ends here. So having placed my material like this, I place this one on it. Okay. I close it here. All right. So I measure round how I want the cape to be. Okay, this is 20.5 inches. The cape ends here. It goes into the zip allowance. All right, so we have 20.5 inches. I'll now go ahead and cut my cape. If I divide 20.5 inches into 2, I have 10 1/4. Okay, this is it. All right. 5.5 inches as the length of the cape. Okay. All right, so this is the cape. We cut it. All right, so we'll go ahead and double it. I'm going to cut another one of this. So this is the way it's going to be looking on it. All right. It's going to go this way, this way, this way, this way, and this way. So meanwhile, before we go ahead and do the remaining things, hmm, I like us to reshape it in the style. This lace is narrow, okay? It's not as wide as the one on the shoulder. So we take out about, let's say we take out 2 inches, okay? From the 2 inches, we start connecting it and it ends somewhere here. Do the same for the other side. 2 inches, remove 2 inches, start connecting, let everything blend at the shoulder area. So we go ahead and cut out what we have marked out. Why I decided to spread it is because it's not going round. So the front part is going to be wider, of course, than the back. Okay, that's that. So we place it on the one we are going to use to double it. All right, and trim it out. That's that for that. So what we're going to be doing now is to cut all the necessary lining, add the stay. The bottom part, depending on the age of the child, I use by the width of my gathered dresses, usually for children ages 1 to 3, 4, 2.5 inches and 2.5 yards, sorry, 2.5 yards to 3 yards if you want it to be very full. For older children, it can be more than that, a little more than that, not too full. So unless you don't want it to be full, there's no it's not a one size fits all. You can decide to make yours 1.5 inches. It doesn't have to be, you may not want it to be really full. All right. So I go out now because it's just a gathered dress. I take out the half length, which is 10 inches, and I measure the length of the child's dress, which is 25. I'm going to be folding about 1.5 inches down, so I cut out 27. Yeah. All right. So as you can see, this is not up to 2.5 yards by the width. So I'm going to cut another one. Excuse me. I'm going to cut another one to add to it. One of the ways to learn any tutorial online is to rewatch and rewatch over and over again. Okay, if you watch it and you've asked, it has been explained again and you don't understand, go and watch over and over again and begin to practice whatever you are saying. And before you know it, you see that you have mastered it. All right, so that's for that. On the bottom part, I have cut what I'm going to be adding to the first one that I cut. So this is not hard. This is just like cutting a rectangle shape material, something like this. This is the length, and this is the width. That width is what I was explaining. It's not a one size fits all. You can make it as wide as you want. You can make it as wide as you want. This is it. This is the other part. I'm going to be joining to this. Then I'll use it as the gathers for the bottom part. That's for that. Before we go ahead and cut the lining, I want us to cut the bow. Did you notice that there's a bow right on the waistline? Okay, so it's simple, it's not hard. All right, so what I'll do first, I cut the bow, has both the Ankara and the satin. Okay, so depending on the length of the armhole, look at it. The bow is sitting maybe just about 1 inch across the cape. across the cape. And if you calculate the whole length of what is on the upper part, is about 5 to 6 inches. Let's say 6 inches is about 6 inches. That's the part of the bow that is resting on the upper parts, the upper bodies, is about 6 inches. And if you calculate it down, all right, if you calculate it down, let's take it from down. Let's say it's from the length of the dress, from the length, from the edge of the dress like this. Let's assume that this is the edge of the dress. From the edge of the dress like this is sitting somewhere about 4 inches from the waistline. That means it's really long. It's sitting somewhere here from the waist down like this. So we calculate all of that using my own clothes that I have measured. This is 10.5 inches. Look at it. This is 10.5 inches. Then it's sitting just a little like this. Is the cape will be sitting here. So it's sitting about 1 inch across the cape. So the overall measurement is 6.5 inches. Look at it. But let me say it's 6 inches because I'm going to be folding this one in. Let's say it's 6 inches. Okay, so if I add 6 inches plus 10.5, that gives us 16.5. That means the whole length of the bow is 16.5. But it's not going to be 16.5. You know why? Because the bow at the upper is folded. If you notice, it's folded. So on the upper part, we're going to be making the measurement doubled. So plus another 6 inches, then something like a sewing allowance or something, half inch. Let's just plus another 6 inches. Let's leave it at 6 inches. Add 6 inches to 16.5 inches. What does it give? That's 22.5 inches. So the whole length of the bow plus the one that will be folded on top is 22.5 inches. 22.5 inches. That's for the length of the bow. That's for the length of the bow. Okay, so the width of the bow, I think is about 4 inches as well. All right. This is an unconventional bow. Let's make it 4.5 inches. All right. So 22.5. The base bow, the bow at the base is the satin. So that's what we're going to be working with. Let me make it 20. I'll add 1 inch. So I make it 23.5 inches. Okay. The width of the bow, like I said earlier, I'm going to make it 4.5. So I make it 5 inches. All right. So the bottom part of the bow is going to be a little wider than one you have on top. Just a little. If I make that place 5 inches, I make this place 6 inches. All right. Notice that it's slanted. It's slanted like this, like a triangle, giving a triangle look. Okay. So here, go up by 2.5 inches. All right. And connect it. Okay. So now, oh yeah. Sorry. This is it. That's that's the satin for the bow. That's the satin. It's going to be like this. Here you can see. All right. So now we'll cut the Ankara as well. The Ankara will be a little shorter than. It will be shorter than the upper one, probably by 4 inches. So go ahead and cut it. Look at it. It's shorter than it. Notice, sorry, I'm managing my fabric. Then So you also notice that it came up by 2.5 inches to have that slanting. Do the same for the one up and slant it. Okay. All right. So that's that. This is our bow. You have this, and place it on another. So what we're going to do now is to add stay on both the bow, the cape, and some part of the upper bodice. All right, it's a very simple but very cute style. All right, that's that for now. I will be back to do the remaining. All right, so having joined all the dots, I've joined the shoulder, as you can see, of the upper bodies, and I've also taped down the ankara on the dress. So the next thing we'll do, also that's after I've added all the stay. This is the bow that we were talking about. This is the bow. I've added the stay and also turned the both of them in. Okay, so that's for that. So now this is the cape. This is the cape. So the next thing we're going to do now is just take a look at this. We're going to sew this place like this. This should sit like this. So we'll sew it like this. Like this. Come this way, and it ends here. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. So after joining, this is what we have. Okay, this is what we have after joining. So the next thing to do now is to sew the neckline. So the around. Okay. All right, so I have turned the neckline. So the next thing to do it the way, spread it out again. Okay, like this. Roll in this, roll it in like this. We'll go ahead and join this piece, the armhole. This is the armhole. Go ahead and join. Look at it. So good. Yes. Makes my tail wag. Thanks, Camilla. You're welcome. Here is the big telescope you ordered. Whoa! It's totally gigantic. Gotta get that big. Thanks, Camilla. Always deliver. Oh, you're too kind, Rubble. So it's here. All of our supplies up the mountain. Next, we'll come back for the telescope. Then, shooting star time! Shooting star time! Do the same thing for the second side. Motor, help! All right. So first thing, remove the pin. So ensure to notch it round like this. Well, the ice isn't too deep. Jackhammer! It won't be slippery. And for an ice breaking job this big, I know just who to call. Motor! Oh, Motor! Would you mind coming down here to break up the icy stream? Uh-oh. What happened? Maybe Motor didn't hear you. We need her to go. Oh! Go ahead and iron it. And now we can do lots of driving up the mountain. Oh, we better. So the next thing to do now is to go ahead and add the belt. All right, so to join the belt, I usually pin it. Then spread out the clothes like this and join cloth to cloth, iron and lining to lining. Also ensure that the belt doesn't enter the line, the where we are going to join the bottom part. Ensure to raise it properly. Raise it properly, okay, like this, okay, so that the bottom part can join easily without the belt hindering it. All right, so the next thing we'll do now is to go ahead and iron it. All right, so we have ironed it. The upper part is ready. So the next thing we're going to do now is to join what I already gathered. The bottom part, I've already gathered it. All right, so we join the bottom part to the waistline like this. Okay, so and then of course after joining we go ahead and add the zip. All right, so go ahead, add the zip, put the necessary lining on the bottom part, and then that's it. So we have it here, is with the zip is ready. So the next thing now is to do our fix the bow. As you can see, like I explained earlier, we have folded the bow like this, not completely, just to where the wrapping is going to take place. That's why I folded it to. Then I use my hand to do the gathers, sew each of the bows separately. All right, so I then do both the base bow and the ankara on top. Then after then I go ahead and place it on one another. All right, so I use the ankara. I'm going to use the ankara to wrap it. All right, so ensure to tack it very well. You can use your hand. All right, so you wrap it like this, and then we are done with it. So that's about that. All right, trust you understand this tutorial well. Please go ahead, like, share, subscribe, watch till if you watch till this point, I know you watch it till the end. All right, here is the dress. Thank you all for watching. Thank you very much. Turn on your notification so that you know when a new video is uploaded.